Here as well as rapper Chef G. Does everybody know Chef? Where is Chef G? Where is he? Come on up, fellas. Rapper Sleepy Hallow. Come on up here, fellas. How are you, man? Hey. Oh, I like that. I want to get that done.
President Trump. Oh, man. One thing I want to say. One thing I want to say. They always gonna whisper your accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us. Make America great again.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. That's where I like those teeth. I want to find out where you did. I got to get my teeth like that. I want that to happen to me.
He was everyone's friends, and they even told a guy with gold fronts, like, hey, man, where do you get those teeth like that? I would like There's a guy who was like, figured it out. Like, I'm not wasting any more energy fighting with them. My route to the White House is through the American people, and he's doing it, and it's driving them crazy because he didn't spend his whole time talking about Holcomb. He didn't spend his whole time throwing shots at Biden. Yeah. He said, like, this is what we're going to do. This is how bad it is, and I'm excited to be for you to want me to do it. And people are getting behind that, and it's driving them crazy.
And the Bronx came alive, showing love for 45. Donald Trump held a gorgeous, massive rally last night in New York City, drawing thousands of ardent supporters to the Bronx, nearly all of whom survived the subway trip there. It's a multi-ethnic borough that's home to the Yankees, a world-famous zoo, and the guy who invented the chalk body outline. Trump hopes to turn the heavily Democrat area Republican red for the first time in decades and is counting on his growing support among Black and Latino voters to do so. Meanwhile, Biden is also courting Blacks and Latinos. He just hired 2 more round-the-clock night nurses. But I wonder, was Trump doing great? Was he sort of like a hot guy?
I was doing great. I was sort of like a hot guy. I was hot as a pistol. I think I was hotter than I am now, and I became president, okay? I don't know. I said to somebody, was I hotter before or hotter now? I don't know. Who the hell knows?
It's true. Can't help himself. It's another area Trump leads Biden, body temperature. And I bet a lot of people, if they could ask him a question, how do you do it? How do you get up in the morning and put your pants on?
Could I ask you a question? How do you do it? I say, do what? How do you get up in the morning and put your pants on? Where do you put the pants on? I'll explain it to you someday. How do you do it? How do you get up? How do you do it?
How do you do it? It's classic Trump, sticking to skills where he crushes Biden, putting on pants and getting up unassisted. But Trump also discussed serious issues like food prices. I wonder, does he eat bacon anymore?
I don't eat bacon anymore. It's too expensive. It's true. It's gone up like 4 times. I said, what's with bacon? On day 1, we're going to throw out Bidenomics. They're going to replace it with Maganomics, like your hats.
You know, he brings up bacon. He's even trying to speak to The View. But these are wise words from a president who can still eat his breakfast without a straw. Which leads us to Make America Great Again.
Make America great again.
Thank you, fellas.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. That's where I like those teeth. I want to find out where you did. I got to get my teeth like that.
So clearly, there's a lot of support for 45 in the Bronx. The only time Democrats go there is to set it on fire. But they're hardworking men and women, many of whom are black or Hispanic. They're tired of being perpetual victims, which is also why they don't root for the Mets. These Bronx voters aren't exactly the MAGA country white supremacists the media would have you believe. And they're 1 million times better than the spoiled college snots currently littering campus with their brand new tents and old Marxist opinions. But for New York's Democrat governor, Kathy Hochul, these Bronx voters are just a bunch of clowns.
Well, I'll tell you, it won't make a difference at all, Jake, and that is for Donald Trump to be the ringleader of and invite all his clowns to a place like the Bronx. New York will never, ever support Donald Trump for president.
Well, it's another example of how Trump goes after those in charge and the Dems go after the voters. And she calls people clowns with that face of hers. She looks like she just sucked face with Ronald McDonald. All right. Paul.
Sir.
So, what did you make of this? You were in the police force. You get the numbers before we do. Tell us about the size of this event, and was it a smart move?
Definitely a smart move. The estimate by the PD is 8,000 to 10,000. They're usually pretty accurate. But the problem here is this. Somebody needs to say to Hochul, listen, Governor, the Bronx, it's in New York.
Yeah.
All right? Because she's insulted them now a couple of times over the last month. And remember something. Zeldin only lost by about 3% for governor. So the moral of this story is Zeldin takes the Bronx.
Yeah.
Because they're going to remember this, and, they can't believe. Usually when a guy that looks like Trump comes to the Bronx, let's be fair. I mean, what people say is, oh, the landlord's here. All right?
Yeah.
Don't answer the door. He's going to raise the rent. All right? We've all been there.
Yeah.
But that's the conundrum with Donald Trump. Despite being a billionaire, they hear authenticity. This is a guy that if he went home with anybody in that crowd, well, first of all, he went home with anybody in that crowd, Alvin Bragg would open a case on him. But if he goes home and has coffee in the kitchen with anybody in that crowd, they're going to get exactly the guy who was at that lectern. And that's authenticity works.
They don't care about people who don't vote for them. And they don't learn from their own mistakes, because a certain young lady decided to call everybody deplorables. And the whole reaction of the country changed. Not just by the ones you're talking about, by people like, wow, you're talking about my neighbors like that. You're talking about people I know like that. And they don't care because they think they just have it in the bag. They don't have to do anything because Trump he's changed. And I got to give him credit, because in 2000, when he was running in 2016, he wouldn't have been like this. He'd have been attackative and fighting with everyone. He was everyone's friends, and they even told a guy with gold fronts, like, hey, man, where do you get those teeth like that? I would like, there's a guy who was like, figured it out. Like, I'm not wasting any more energy fighting with them. My route to the White House is through the American people, and he's doing it, and it's driving them crazy, because he didn't spend his whole time talking about Holcomb. He didn't spend his whole time throwing shots at Biden. Yeah. He said, like, this is what we're going to do. This is how bad it is, and I'm excited to be for you to want me to do it. And people are getting behind that, and it's driving them crazy.
And it's not only that, but It's one thing to say that Dems won't go to red cities. It's another thing that when you see AOC hold something in her district and it's empty, so he's out drawing even them in their own district.
You know what he did? He just turned half of America into the Bronx.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't live in the Bronx, and I'm a Met fan. So, but the bottom line is, people across the country all of a sudden are identifying with the Bronx in cities that, have nothing to do with red states. It's a brilliant move.
Yeah.
And real quick, to your point, you talked about how they deal in feelings, and they personally attack those who are not against them. That's why when they say deplorable, when they say morons or clowns, we know who they're talking about.
Yeah.
When Trump says a policy is stupid, he's not talking about an individual, he's talking about the law. That's the difference. That's why theirs carries weight. They haven't figured that out yet. They personally attack the American voter.
Yeah, with this election, the only thing Joe Biden has in the bag are his feces. Thank you. Thank you. You know who wrote that joke? Ainsley Earhardt.
Visiting angels care so much. Visiting angels, America's choice in home care.
I'm AI Donald Trump, and I approve this message. The fake news. Wake the woke, wake up America. It's not about the left or the right, but what is right and what is wrong. Tune into NewsWars.AI. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Be sure to get out and vote early.